Dow Jones fell over 1,000 points on Friday. Will Nifty follow the same suit on Monday? Do watch the entire video to understand what is on stores for Nifty for the upcoming week. First thing first, thank you for stopping by my video. I welcome you all to my channel Pure Patterns. In this video, in next few minutes, you are going to learn the analysis of Nifty for the upcoming week, and also we would analyze the chart of the Dow Jones, which fell over 1,000 points on the Friday. Some attribute that fall to the Fed event which was scheduled, but was that fall only because of that Fed event, or was there any indication on the chart which was indicating that Dow might fall? So let's go on to the chart and understand what was the chart saying last week. Let's go on to Dow Jones weekly chart and understand what is there on the chart. So the reason why I'm doing this analysis of weekly chart is because Nifty tends to follow the Dow Jones most of the times. So that's the reason, try to understand the critical points in the Dow Jones, and so that we can correlate that in our Nifty chart. So most of the people on the social media attribute that fall on a Friday of 1,000 points was because of the Fed event which was scheduled. Some say that people were not happy with the commentary, so it fell 1,000 points. Some say there was a knee-jerk reaction and all. But the thing what I'm trying to convey through this video or through this analysis is that it is the price action which can tell you. If you understand the behavior of the price, if you understand the behavior of the candles, then it is easy to understand what is price going to do in the next move. Ultimately it's a probability game. It cannot be right every time, but ultimately you can at least judge the direction. You can get the sense of the direction. So that is what I'm trying to say. The first thing, if you see on the chart, what you can clearly see is 34,000. If I put the cursor there, 34,000 was clearly a very critical support zone. You can clearly see the price has taken support from that level so many times, and it tried to break it 2 or 3 times. So finally on the third time it was able to break it. So on the third time it broke it, and it fell from 34,000 to 29,750. It was close to 4,000 plus points. So almost 10% correction from that support zone. It fell to the monthly demand, and then it took a V-turn and it again rallied back to the same 34,000 zone. The thing which I'm trying to convey is that whenever there's a support zone which is being broken, right, critical support zone which is broken will turn into a critical resistance in the upcoming sessions, irrespective of the time zones which you say. It can be a daily. If it is broken on the daily, it becomes a critical resistance for upcoming days on the daily chart. If it is broken on the 15-minute chart, it becomes a resistance on the 15-minute chart for upcoming 15 minutes or next 15 minutes. The same thing which has happened on the weekly chart of Dow Jones as well. 34,000 support was clearly taken out few weeks ago, and price approached that support zone. Whenever the price approaches that zone, what is that you are seeing? You're clearly seeing a doji being formed. This doji also indicates that there is a pause in this rally. So this rally has to be halted now. So whenever there's a pause candle being formed or doji being formed, so whenever this low of that is taken out, there can be a sharp fall. After a 10% rally, we can expect 1% of the fall or 2% of the fall in a day. So that is what has happened on the Dow Jones on the Friday as well. It fell 3%, that is 1,000 points. It was clearly because I'll go to the daily chart and show you what was happening there. So what I'm trying to convey through this video is one, price action is the ultimate thing which can tell you what is going to happen, right? So you can clearly see the doji was formed. So after the break of the low, there was certainly a downfall which was expected, and that is what has happened. That's the first thing. Second thing which I wanted to convey is you can clearly see there is a trend line which is formed. If I connect the high of these two highs, then you can clearly see there was a trend line, and there was a rejection, that is a doji candle being formed at that trend line. That also marks that there is a pause or there can be a turn from this level, right? That is what has happened on the weekly. This is the second thing. The two things which I wanted to convey through this analysis on the weekly chart is that two things. One, whenever there is a support which is being taken out, then that support will act as a resistance for the upcoming sessions. Second thing is there was a trend line which was formed by connecting two highs of the weekly chart, and there was a doji formed at that trend line. There were two confirmations which were clearly saying that there can be a chances that Dow Jones might reverse from this. So that is what has happened in the previous week. Now let's go to the daily chart and understand what is there and where can Dow Jones stop. What you can see from the daily chart is the Dow Jones has rallied from 30,000. Clearly, if you are to consider this as the rally, then it has rallied from 29,600 to 34,000, right? So it has clearly given a rally in one shot. So that is the reason there were chances that it might reverse, or there might be a chance that profit booking might come. So you can clearly see that 33,250 was a critical zone and it was taken out few days ago. The people almost thought that that is the breakout which has been taken out, because it has taken a critical swing high. So there were so many people who took that trade and went long, thinking that that is a valid breakout. What has happened after 3 candles? There was a clear failure of that breakout. It corrected, and most of those breakout traders would have kept their stop loss just below this swing low, that is consolidation, that is 32,400. So what has happened on the Friday is that all the stop losses have been taken out. So what is the next destination what you can think of in Dow Jones is this level, that is 31,200. This is a level where Dow Jones might fall and can pause for a few days before it is taking off on the upside. So that's all is about the analysis of Dow Jones. Let's go on to the Nifty chart and analyze what is there on the Nifty chart. Let's go to the Nifty weekly chart and analyze what is chart saying for the upcoming week. Before I explain you in detail about what are the critical levels on the Nifty chart, please make sure to hit the like button if you are liking the content, subscribe to my channel if you are new to the channel. Also, not to forget to hit the bell icon for the notification so that you don't miss any video which I post on my channel. Well, that being said, let's analyze the weekly chart now. In the last week Nifty analysis video, you have learnt that 17,900 to 18,090 is our supply zone, and one should book the profit if anyone is holding long in Nifty stocks. Why? Because Nifty is at weekly supply and there is every possibility or probability that Nifty might reverse from this zone. So if you want to know what were the important levels and zones which I discussed, then I recommend you to watch this video and then come back to this video. You observe the chart and the price action, then you can clearly see that there is a rejection candle which is formed at supply. Whenever the low of this rejection candle was taken out, then it was evident that we are looking for a downfall. Nifty did the same. Nifty fell from 17,770 to 17,350 and then it reversed from there. Why did Nifty reverse from 17,350? I'll tell you why it reversed from 17,300 when I analyze the daily chart. For now, let's focus on the weekly chart. Now, the low of this candle, which looks bullish by nature, is very important. The break of this candle would lead for the further fall towards 16,800. This level and the analysis of the Nifty chart would remain intact for next upcoming weeks. Now let's see what are the opportunities, that is trade opportunities, one can find on the weekly chart. First opportunity which I find is whenever we are breaking the low of this bullish candle, that is last week candle, then we are heading towards 16,800. Why? Because most of the people who had gone long looking at this bullish candle would have the stop loss. So whenever Nifty starts to trade below that, there are maximum possibilities that all those stop loss might trigger. So we can get a very good momentum trade in this. So our next target, whenever you are breaching 17,350, then we are heading towards 16,800. This is our first trading setup which I see it on weekly chart. Now let's see what are the other trade setups on this chart. If you see this rally is one way straight up. Now if I draw a trend line, then this trend line can act as an important hurdle for Nifty. So if we break this trend line with a bearish pattern, then Nifty can fall further and there can be a momentum trade which one can spot. However, one should wait to break this candle with a bearish setup. Unless there is no bearish pattern which is formed near this trend line, I would not recommend people taking the trades breaking of this trend line. This is the second setup which I look when I see this chart. There is a third opportunity which I sense. So do comment in the comment section if you are able to find the similarity between Nifty weekly chart and Dow weekly chart. If you are not able to spot it, then don't worry. Keep watching the video. I'll explain you in the last and I'll tell you also a pro tip how to trade that. Now let's see the daily chart. On the daily chart, you can clearly see there is a bearish engulfing candle formed at supply and there was a huge gap down after after a very bearish candle formed at the supply. So the reason why I'm telling this is, looking at the global scenario and how Dow has performed last Friday, we can also expect similar kind of gap down on the Monday morning. The important level which I want you to notice on the daily chart is also the similar thing which I've mentioned in the weekly, that is 17,350 level. So if you find any buy setup like W pattern or double bottom, then one should enter a buy position keeping a stop loss of 17,300. Similarly, if we are breaking 17,350, then our next destination would be 17,150. If we are able to break that as well, then our next major support would be on the daily chart would be 17,000. That is because 17,000 being a round number. Now let's answer the two questions which I said that I'll be answering in the later part of the video. The first question which I wanted to answer is, why did Nifty reverse from 17,350? If you go to the daily chart and see this candle, which was a rejection candle which was formed on daily chart from 17,350, you can clearly see there was a demand zone which was created on the daily. Now looking at this rejection candle, one can also interpret that there were so many buyers who were active at this zone. So therefore I said, whenever there's a break of this zone, there are possibilities that there were so many stop losses might get triggered. That is the reason why we get a momentum trade whenever we are breaking 17,350 zone. Now let's answer the other question. I asked what is the similarity between Dow weekly chart and Nifty weekly chart. Before I answer that question, make sure that you hit the like button if you are liking the content. Now let's focus on the answer. Can you see the tops on the Nifty chart? If you connect the high, you can similarly get the trend line what you found on the Dow weekly chart. However, the trend line which is there on the Nifty is different than Dow Jones in one aspect. In Nifty, the trend line is being tested for the fourth time, whereas in case of Dow Jones, it is tested for the third time. So I also said that I'll provide the pro tip. The pro tip is here now. The pro tip is, whenever the trend line is being tested more than 3 times, then it becomes weak. So next time whenever the price approaches this trend line in Nifty, there are more chances that Nifty might give a breakout. So watch out for this trend line in future and mark this and create an alert on this trend line. Also, not to forget, if you want to know how I do my swing trading to earn the regular income, then do watch this video to understand that strategy. Well, that being said, it's time to wind off this video. See you in another video. Happy trading. Bye bye.